Well, it's great to have you along with us this morning. Right now, 5:36 a.m. You are watching the Weather Network, and a couple things we want to go over this morning. I don't want you to forget your gloves because it is a cold start to the day out there, and the windy conditions. You really felt those winds yesterday, didn't you? I know I did. It really brought back the wind chill. Memories of last winter, right? They're coming back in full force. The squalls, they shift and push flurries into the GTA today. We'll tell you when and who could be seeing them. And also, Toronto turns white. 3 clippers are coming in. Yeah, we got 3 of them for us. So we are going to be seeing a layer of snow by the time we go into next week, and we're going to time all that out for you this morning. Just want to show you a live shot of the Gardiner before we get started here. Of course, with a big fire in Burlington, and we're going to be talking about that throughout the show this morning as well. -1 in Toronto with the wind chill feels like -6. Those winds, 18 kilometers an hour. That's not too bad, but you got to look at the gust, over 30. As we go into the afternoon, again, we could be seeing gusts up to 50 kilometers an hour, and that's what really brings that wind chill back into play, right? Today in Toronto, 1, the daytime high feels more like -4, 0 in Barrie, feels more like -6. So cold air, that is the story for us. And as this cold air travels over the Great Lakes that are relatively warm this time of year, well, that spells some trouble. Lake effect snow is going to be a big story for us yet again. So I want to show you this here. You know what? Let me go back to the radar. There we go. This is a live look at the radar. And you can see how the winds have slightly shifted. So it was more of a southwesterly wind yesterday. Today, more of that northwesterly wind. And that is going to be bringing some snow down into places like Kitchener and Guelph and Cambridge. We're seeing that already this morning. Couple flurries in through Hamilton and Oakville. This is not big accumulating snow, not big like what we saw yesterday. Want to show you some of the scenes here from that. But still, the potential for snow here in the GTA, just some light flurries. Now, when will we change the landscape? When will we turn white? Have a look at this. This here is a system that comes in Saturday. So Saturday throughout the day, we're thinking about 3 to 6 centimeters of snow. I know this says 4 to 8. We're actually pushing that down a little bit now. So 3 to 6 centimeters of snow on Saturday. That system clears out of here. Another one comes in Sunday into Monday. That's an additional 3 to 5 centimeters of snow at that one. And then there's one more coming in. This one Monday in through Tuesday, and that's a couple more centimeters. And this snow, well, it's not going anywhere because the cold air is here with us. So when snow falls, it's going to stick and it's going to stay. We'll be taking a look at Force of Nature when we come back. But right now, have a look at temperature trends in your local forecast. It's great to have you along with us. 5:46 a.m. and you are watching the Weather Network. It's a cold start out there this morning. We look at Toronto, -1 right now, -11 up in Timmins, -2 in Windsor. A cold start to the day for many. So please do not forget your gloves today. Wear the warm jacket. Send the kids to school with one as well. And we have more lake effect snow today. Yesterday, extremely powerful up through the Muskoka region. Our storm hunters, they were on the hunt for the squalls. You know, it wasn't too hard to find them. Have a look at their day yesterday. And we will be taking a look at who will be seeing those snow squalls today. Your live radar is coming up, but first, here's what's trending online. Some of our top videos of the day today. Now let's take a look at this. Who is seeing those snow squalls? We see this band now coming off of Huron, pushing some snow into Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo, Guelph. We're looking at you this morning. Some in towards Hamilton, Oakville, and Burlington. This is all very light snow. And then we still see that powerful squall up and towards Parry Sound as well. Into the Niagara region, squalls will still develop today if your travel plans do take you down there. And it looks like we could see some of them swing into the GTA as well and push some snow towards Toronto. At the moment, though, Toronto stays nice and clear. Have a live look at the Gardiner. Very good morning to you. I'm Rachel Schoutsen. You're watching the Weather Network. Emily Vukovic is standing by. She has your weekend forecast and when Toronto will be turning white because we see 3 systems coming in. So it gives us a pretty good chance of seeing some snow. This morning, no snow accumulating. You may see a couple flurries in the atmosphere. 1 in Toronto feels like -4 as we go into the afternoon. It's a cold day today. The winds will be gusting about 50 kilometers an hour. You will feel the breeze and the lake effect snow. We still see it. Targeting different areas today, though. Yesterday was more of a southwesterly flow. Today, a west-northwesterly wind. So that brings brings the snow down a little bit into places like Barrie. Better chance of you seeing some snow today, and also targets the snow into places like Kitchener, Cambridge, Guelph, Waterloo. We're going to watch for some lake effect snow in your backyard. Couple flurries trickling into Toronto as well. In terms of snow sticking, not for Toronto today. You have to go up to the north, also to the west, down to the Niagara region too. Fort Erie, we are seeing a decent amount of snow off of Lake Erie with these bands. But when will Toronto be shoveling or dusting off the car? Toronto's going to turn white, and Emily, you have the details right here. Crazy to think about all of the things that ship must have passed on its trip literally across the ocean. Emily, thanks for that this morning. Let's get into some of these snow squalls, because squalls are still a big story, but a bit of a different target. The winds have shifted, and that means down towards the Kitchener region, Guelph, we're looking at you, Waterloo, better chance of you seeing some snow. Still down into Fort Erie, and we still see some snow into the Muskoka region. Muskoka certainly looking like winter. Jacqueline Whittle was there talking with people yesterday. They are ready for it. Bring on the snow, right? And when we look at the radar here, the snow is falling right now through Guelph, over towards Oakville, down past Hamilton and Brantford. Looks like Toronto could see a couple flurries, but I want to show you on the traffic camera here, it is not affecting travel this morning. We'll bring up this live shot of the QEW through Brant Street. Heads up. Cold air is here to stay for us, and we're going to chat about this pattern when we come back. A very good morning to you and happy Thursday as we take a look at daytime highs across the country. It really is an interesting story here. We look at Toronto, 1, feels like -4. Big trough in the jet stream. That brings us the colder air. But over to Whitehorse, 7 degrees today in Whitehorse with some sunshine. They're doing better than us here down in the GTA. And that's the power of a ridge in the jet stream. Now, before we get further into our weather story, I have to show you this. This was breaking news last night across. You could see this smoke from miles and miles away. Now, when we talk fire, a huge fire story as well in California. And some of these images are tough to watch. Have a look at this story. And when we look at that big ridge in the jet stream across the west, blocking any rain, so no moisture coming to help anything out, but they're mentioning the winds. The winds will be calm today throughout Los Angeles, so of course that is a huge help when it comes to this devastating fire story. As we look at us here in the east, ridge in the west, trough in the east, and that brings in the much colder air for us. So lake effect snow, yes, that continues to be a story. We saw it yesterday, very powerful in through the Muskoka region, and today looks like some of that snow will be brought down to places like Kitchener and Waterloo. You are watching the Weather Network. Great to have you along with us on this Thursday morning. Rachel Schoutsen and Kelly Sonnenberg with you. And Kelly, some of the biggest stories across Ontario right now are definitely the cold and the snow. And that cold air, it's coming for you in Atlantic Canada too.
Yeah, we've got active weather continuing this weekend. More details on that. But first, let's find out what's trending online. All right, when you're waking up this morning, we've got some rain showers across the Avalon, portions of Newfoundland, icy conditions as well. And Rachel, we've been talking about the snow squalls yesterday. Today, they continue. Take a look at all that snow.
And when will Toronto be turning white? That's the big question we were asking at our briefing this morning. We have the answer, so if you stay with us, we're going to get into that. But first, Kelly, what's going on in Newfoundland?
Some freezing rain warnings. These are starting to drop off, I think, as the temperatures get warmer through the day. We're probably just going to do a straight transition over to rain. But again, no rain in sight across southern Ontario. It's all about the snow squalls.
And the snow squalls yesterday were coming more out of the southwest, so targeted a little north of Barrie for some of the bigger snow. Now think about that shifting a little bit further to the south. So even places like Kitchener, Guelph, Cambridge, better chance of you seeing some snow. Was looking at the traffic cameras, doesn't look all too impressive this morning, but the radar is definitely putting it down there.
But you know what? Those traffic cameras may look a little bit more white this weekend. Let's take a closer look right now. It's the next one. Those winds will be whipping up once again as we head through today.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. Emily Vukovic, Rachel Schoutsen with you. We're talking about cold temperatures and snow. We could actually be shoveling by next week through the city of Toronto.
I think so. So top up the windshield washer fluid. You need it. Find the snow brush. Put the winter tires on. Don't forget your gloves.
That's a dig at me because I haven't done it yet.
That was just a slow dig.
That is totally a dig at me.
Slow dig there. And you know, when will Toronto be turning white? We could see that with 3 clippers coming in. So we're going to time that out for you today. But this morning, right now, -1. With that wind chill, though, feels like -7. And the gusts as we go into this afternoon could still get up to 50 kilometers an hour. Did you find it windy yesterday?
Oh, it was incredibly windy yesterday and cold too. I was out dog walking. My eyes are watering, freezing to my face. It was very bitterly cold, and it's going to continue that way. We've got below seasonal sub-zero temperatures on the way, and they are here to stay. So this afternoon, only getting up to 1, feeling like -4, and here are the squalls. This has been really intense. Mark Robinson, Jacqueline Whittle were up in the Muskoka area yesterday. Snow looks like a winter wonderland.
It does, and you know, a lot of people up to the cottage country are excited about this because it's perfect for skiing and snowshoeing and snowmobiling, all of the great conditions. Look at that though. That is driving in whiteout conditions. This was Bala, Ontario within the Muskokas yesterday. Now when we look at some of those winds today, they are slowly changing, and we will be seeing that essentially drawing some of the snow back down closer within to places like Kitchener and Cambridge today.
All right, here come our systems. Saturday system giving us a widespread 3 to 6 centimeters of snow throughout much of the GTA. Now, as this one moves off, next one starts to move in. This one also going to be bringing in the potential for 3 to 5 centimeters of snow. The final one that's coming in for Monday, Tuesday, this one is still a little bit too far out for us to throw out some numbers, but it looks as though it's going to be accumulating. So if it all pans out with the higher amounts, 10 centimeters, quite likely.
And this system that could come in Monday could be big impact for that rush hour drive home Monday. So that's another element that we're going to watch. But before we get into the temperature story here, Emily, I want everybody to have a look at this video. This,
what's the word I'm looking for?
intuitive.
They're intuitive, and they're very active and resilient. No, it's like an agility thing, you know?
Yeah, like they're not going to give up?
They have 9 lives, right? They always land on their feet. And
9
so
lives.
there you have it.
Isn't that amazing? Home security was capturing that in Montreal yesterday. Now let's talk about this cold, because once this snow comes down, it is going to stay. That is the key here. The cold air, the Arctic influence, it's in our backyard, and look at that 7-day forecast.
Brr. Okay, coming up, we check in with Mark Robinson and Jacqueline Whittle.
Hey, good morning. Thursday today, currently -1 in Toronto, 6:46 a.m. And we'll start you off with some of our top stories today. All right, let's take a look at what's happening now outside your door. -1 in Toronto, -2 in Windsor. Looks like school buses are canceled this morning up in the Muskoka region, and that's due to the powerful snow squalls. And we've got another day of snow squalls on tap for us. As we look here at the radar, it shows you the powerful snow still moving into places like Parry Sound, shifting down towards Barrie. We see the squalls as well encompassing southwestern Ontario at this point. This snow is not crippling, it's not too heavy, but it certainly is something to be aware of as you commute outside of the GTA this morning. Our storm hunters, well, they were in the thick of the squalls yesterday. Here was their experience. Absolutely, and the band that they're talking about, that persistent band, you can see it right here. It's getting the fetch of Huron as well as Georgian Bay, making that very powerful. We're also seeing that snow moving into Kitchener, Guelph, Cambridge this morning, so heads up on that drive on the 401, and another band likely off of Erie, but that should stay stateside. I want to show you the roads this morning before we get to your local forecast. Hey, it's great to see you this morning, 7:06 a.m. You are watching the Weather Network. Rachel and Emily here with you, and it's a cold start to the day, -1, but the wind chill, that's what we need to remember, really, as we go throughout this next week, makes it feel a lot colder.
Oh, yes, and a little bit of light snow at this hour right now, so certainly feeling more winter-like. We can say goodbye to those mild southwest winds we saw earlier this week. Squalls certainly going to be picking up in intensity. We'll get to that story in just a few moments, but first, let's see what's hot online.
And imagine all the things that ship passed as it went from Japan to Oregon over 7 years.
That's incredible.
Such a cool story. You can read more stuff like that online at theweathernetwork.com. But right now, well, it's our job to talk about these snow squalls. Emily, look what we're seeing.
Yeah, they're going to continue to intensify in some areas, not so much in others. I mean, we are seeing some light snow through Toronto, through Oakville, and through the Hamilton area right now. Those bands are going to kind of oscillate, so the Niagara area could pick up a little bit more up towards the shores of Huron, Georgian Bay, up through eastern Superior. Travel yesterday was treacherous for so many people.
It was, and we want to take you into Muskoka right now. Jacqueline Whittle was on the scene, and here's what people thought about those powerful squalls.
This just in, Rachel says she wants to move to an area where a tractor has to dig out her being in the snow.
I do not want to live there.
You said you did want to live there.
I do not want to live there.
Oh, I guess I didn't hear correctly.
A cold day for us today. And before we leave, I want to show you this live shot of the 401. Couple flurries coming down across the GTA, but at this point, it is not impacting the drive. It's December the 7th today. Kelly, the countdown to Christmas is on, and a good way to get into the Christmas spirit, how about a free skate? A Canada 150 skate in Kingston. That is happening this weekend.
Wow, that'll be fabulous. And we'll have the snow for it as well. Quite a bit of snow, actually, for parts of southern Ontario. We're going to have more details on that. But first, let's find out what's trending online.
And now we go to the snow squall story, and there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this. These squalls are powerful, and we're really starting to see them within southern Ontario this morning. If your travels take you on the 401 Toronto out to London, very likely you will be in some squalls.
And as we head through the afternoon and evening, you can see these squalls will start to shift a little bit further south, so they will be passing through the GTA. Huron shores as well. We'll continue to see those snow squalls. The squalls will start to ease up to tomorrow, but more snow moving in this weekend with clippers. Let's get into the details right now.
A very windy hometown, isn't it? And that is such a place that gets incredible lake effect snow. And Kelly, you know, I want to add to the clippers. That Monday clipper could possibly bring in a very tricky drive home to drivers across the GTA Monday evening.
So you want to be staying tuned with us because we'll let you know the timing and the amounts. And we'll also be talking about Atlantic Canada this weekend. Yeah, this
Atlantic Canada getting yet another system, rain and snow. And Kelly will be joining you again to break that system down for you. And you can see your local forecast no matter where you are.
Hi there, Rachel and Emily with you, and I have a little holiday treat here, Rachel. This entered into the newsroom. It is like saltine crackers with brown sugar and chocolate and M&Ms and sprinkles, and it's called a holiday treat, for lack of a better term that I'm not allowed to say on television. And
it is seriously so good
this morning.
I instantly improved my mood while eating these this morning.
So if we're really hyper and giggly, this is why. What holiday treat do you make?
Good.
What do you spread around? We'd love to hear from you. Send us a tweet at Rachel TWN. No, it's at Rachel Schoutsen,
Rachel Schoutsen, yeah.
And Emily TWN. We want to hear from you, and I'm just going to stand here and hold these while you go through the headlines.
So you can smell it, right?
Maybe eat one.
They're so good. Okay, I don't want you to forget the gloves this morning because it is cold out there. Those squalls, they're shifting, they're pushing flurries into the GTA, and then when will Toronto turn white? We've got 3 clippers coming our way. So Christmas, it's coming, not just in the baking, but in the forecast too. Now I want to show you this video. This was caught on security camera. One of them.
And the levels of agility that cats have
agility,
is incredible. -7 is what it feels like right now. -2, we've been seeing a few light flurries in and around the GTA. By this afternoon, only getting up to 1, feeling more like -4. Below seasonal, sub-zero temperatures. It is going to help keep all of these squalls around, and looks as though we are going to be seeing them continue not only for today, but into tomorrow as well.
And look how much is being covered by snow here across the southwest. This is not all heavy snow that is falling. It is fairly light, but do keep in mind you're likely to run into some squalls today. I want to show you right now what the 401 is looking like at the paralyzing traffic across the GTA. Absolutely not. But up towards Muskoka, it certainly did yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Robinson and Jacqueline Widow were up in the area, and you could see the heavy snow coming down, causing a treacherous drive. That is what's going to pan out for some this weekend. For Saturday, we're looking at a fairly widespread 3 to 6 centimeters with the first clipper that's going to be coming through. Then we have another system coming through for Sunday and into Monday, an additional 3 to 5, and then another one late Monday into Tuesday.
And the one late Monday could be bringing in a rough Monday evening commute. So that's another thing we're monitoring. And remember, all this snow, if we pan out on the top end of these snowfall projections, we could be seeing up to about 10, maybe 12 centimeters. With all the cold air here, that snow is going to stay.
It is. It really is. Okay, coming up, we were checking in with Jacqueline and Mark yesterday, and we're going to show you a little bit of what they saw up through the Muskokas. They went through Bala. Lots of snow on the ground. That's next.
Thursday morning, December the 7th today. Great to have you along with us right now, 7:46 a.m. And the current temperatures across eastern portions of the country, well, it's a cold start for many. -4 in Moncton, -2 in Toronto, and we are looking at some flurries. We're going to talk about that lake effect snow in a second. But right now, it's time for the top stories on this Thursday. Okay, the next story we want to talk about, that's the snow squalls, because squalls yet again will be a problem today, shutting down school buses in the Muskoka region this morning. And we are looking at that snow off of Huron, bringing in the best potential for places like Kitchener, Guelph, and Cambridge to get into some of that snow this morning. A couple of those flakes have trickled into the GTA, but we're talking really minimal this morning. Yesterday, it was anything but minimal, and our storm hunters, they were on the scene. Now in Toronto, we're not seeing paralyzing snow squalls, that's for sure, but the cold, well, we certainly feel it today. Feels like -4 and very windy conditions as well, gusts up to 50 kilometers an hour. I do want to take you out onto the roads right now for a white Christmas up in cottage country. Now, will we have a good shot at a white Christmas? We do have snow on the way, and winter certainly is pushing into southern Ontario. Emily Vukovic is standing by as well. She'll have a look at the long-range patterns to get you through the weekend, but I want to get you through today, and I don't want you to forget the gloves today. You certainly need them. 1 degree feels like -4. Those winds still gusting to about 50 kilometers an hour today, so it will be breezy. The snow squalls, yes, we still see those as well. A bit of a shift in the wind, and that targets different people in terms of who will see the squalls. Now we'll see more powerful squalls sort of off of Huron with a better potential to put them into places like Kitchener, Cambridge, and Guelph. Also, Milton towards Toronto, likely to see some snow squalls here. They ease a little bit throughout cottage country and shift a little further south down to places like Barrie. Barrie, you have about 2 to 5 centimeters of snow on the way. Niagara region, again, another powerful band off of Erie, so the snow squalls still a big story for us. In Toronto, we won't be shoveling any snow today, but looks like we could be into the weekend. Emily, you take it from here. The Long Ranger starts now. Good to see you on this Thursday morning. We are talking snow across southern Ontario. Was just taking a look at the radar. You can see it behind us here, and the squalls that are coming off of Huron at this hour, that stretch of the 401, 403, essentially in between about Hamilton out towards Brantford and Woodstock. Think snow through here.
Yeah, and slippery driving conditions, especially if you do not have your snow tires on. Now, we're going to have your full weather story, including the temperature trend getting us into the weekend. But first, let's take a look at what's hot online.
And the next story we want to talk about is the squalls here within southern Ontario. This radar, I have to say, is overdoing it. Toronto is not seeing big amounts of snow coming in. A couple light flurries in the atmosphere. But one thing we know for sure is everyone is feeling the cold.
Yes, for sure. We're seeing temperatures around 2 degrees for the afternoon hours, feeling closer to -4. It's going to feel like -7 through Hamilton.
Yeah.
Now, it was cold and snow squalls were on everybody's mind yesterday. Jacqueline got to experience them firsthand.
Love when people are ready, because you need to be, especially when you live in a place like Muskoka. The squalls will ease into Friday. This is Friday morning at -3, and then we go into the afternoon. The cold air still upon us.
Yeah, it's going to stick around right through the weekend. Not 1, not 2, but 3 systems bringing accumulating snow in through the GTA by early next week.
Now, yesterday on the QEW, big smoke caused big delays. We're going to fill you in on this fire, plus also fires in California as well. That's when we come back.
Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. It is December the 7th. Rachel Schoutsen and Emily Vukovic with you. We've got snow, we've got cold temperatures, we've got some active weather on the way to the GTA, and I think snow enthusiasts are going to be really happy about it.
Yeah, look at Santa. He's skiing behind these headlines. Did you notice that?
Where did you find Santa skiing? No, I didn't even notice it. I thought it was just somebody in a snowsuit.
Santa's getting excited about all the snow and the cold. Hey, I don't want you to forget your gloves today. It is cold and it is windy yet again, and we have 3 systems that we're going to talk about coming into Toronto, and that is going to change up the landscape. But first, Emily, let's take a look at this video here.
All right.
At home video security camera in Montreal picking up just that. Wow. But of course, a good reminder, watch your pets on ice like this, because even though it is cold, the dog runs across the frozen lake. You don't know what it's like in the center of that lake, even along the shores as well. So keep that in mind. In Toronto today, we are 1, feels like -4, feels like -7 in Hamilton. Did you feel those winds yesterday?
I sure did. They were very brisk, very brisk. I went out for a dog walk and, well, I had, let's just say, frozen tears.
Yeah.
Temperatures are only going to get colder and stay cold as we get closer to the weekend. Squalls are certainly something we're talking about. Last check, traffic cameras. I know you weren't seeing a ton on the 401 corridor, but we do have a few flurries kind of flying around.
For sure. The radar here really is overdoing it in terms of what we're seeing within southern Ontario. But just keep in mind, some flurries are flying. And as we look at the widespread snow that's coming in, this is a big story as we go into the weekend. Squalls hits certain people, but system snow hits everyone.
Yeah, it's widespread, 3 to 5 centimeters for Saturday. We've got our next system coming in for Sunday, and then lo and behold, a third one coming in for Monday. And if all of them bring the heavier amounts of accumulating snow, 10 centimeters is certainly not out of the question by Tuesday.
Yeah, and it looks like this system could come in, the last one, late Monday in through Tuesday, and that could affect the rush hour drive. So that's something else that we really need to monitor as we go into next week. But yeah, I'm thinking people are going to start using the shovel as as we go through the
Oh, I
weekend.
need to get my snow tires on
You
so
do.
badly. Honda,
book it.
call me. Call me and tell me to book my snow tires. Okay, cold temperatures. This is giving us a really good outlook of the long-range pattern and how that Arctic air is going to be flooding south, and it will stick around into the weekend, into next week. So that snow that we're going to see, it's not going anywhere.
No, and some of the coldest air we've seen yet this season, about 2 to 3 degrees is seasonal. To see daytime highs -7, feeling like -13, that's what we're getting into next week with another shot of Arctic air.
Yeah, it's going to remain cold, and make sure you stay with us because not only is it going to be cold, but of course squalls, certainly a big story right now with those cold temperatures going over the relatively warm water. We're going to check in with Mark and Jacqueline. They were hunting yesterday.
A very good morning to you. It is Thursday today, December the 7th. I know we're doing a bit of a Christmas countdown here at the Weather Network. We've got our baked goodies in the newsroom. Everybody's hopped up on a little bit of sugar this morning. Snow squalls, a big deal across the Great Lakes. And of course, our storm hunters were out on the scene chasing some of the squalls. We're going to take a look at that in a second. But right now, here's what's trending online at theweathernetwork.com. Imagine all the things within the past 7 years that ship must have passed as it literally crossed the ocean. Online at theweathernetwork.com. Lots of great stories just like that. And of course, lots of great stories coming out of these snow squalls. Getting excited for the holiday season, putting down some real big snow. This here sort of overdoing it on the radar when we look at the snow across the southwest of Ontario. But some flurries, yes, they are falling. But the bulk of those flurries, that was a huge story yesterday in through cottage country. And our storm hunters, well, they were on the scene. And it looks like that persistent squall that they were talking about, it's going into today, too. You can see it right up to cottage country through Muskokas. All buses for the kids canceled today in the Muskokas due to all of that snow. And you can see a couple bands moving closer to places like Kitchener-Waterloo, Guelph, Cambridge, Brantford. So we're going to watch for that today. The cold, no one escaping the cold today. It is freezing out there. 1 for the high, feels like -4. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the snow and the cold lasting long range for us. Emily joins us next with snow for Toronto.